First and foremost, I want to thank everybody, the families of both Kyle and Jess here, for putting on such a beautiful event. It's gorgeous in here. And everybody here. Kyle and I have been best friends. We met when we were 5, and we've been getting in trouble ever since. I can remember when we were running around in his backyard through the woods. We were ducking back and forth between trees, fighting invisible armies and everything else. Spent a lot of time in his basement as a man cave, we called it. And spent a lot of time playing video games, having Mr. and Mrs. Fiedler come down at 3 o'clock in the morning telling us to turn off the TV, and 15 minutes later we'd be back on. So Kyle and I have had quite a number of adventures together. I remember one year when I came up to visit his family up at Scroon Lake on their vacation. It was Kyle, myself, Robin, his sister, and one of her friends. We all took out some canoes and some kayaks, and we went out to a beach across the lake from where he was renting. And on our way back, it was close to dusk, and we thought it would be a great idea to play tag with kayaks and a canoe. Kyle and I both being in the canoe. And we had to be back by a certain time so that we wouldn't miss dinner that Mrs. Fiedler was working. I think it was our last night there even, right? We left the next morning. So Mrs. Fiedler was slaving away at this beautiful meal. And Kyle and I end up flipping this canoe in the middle of the lake. And it's not a short distance. And we had the bright idea to give the paddles and our life jackets to the 2 girls in the kayak, and they went in without us. So Kyle and I are swimming in the middle of the lake with a canoe, and it's gradually getting darker. And we both focused in on this lighthouse, and we noticed it wasn't getting any closer. We were in the middle of the stream. And now the sun is gone, and Kyle looks at me and goes, "I don't think this was a good idea." We've had many life-threatening adventures, but all turned out well. Mrs. Fiedler comes out in her kayak with Mr. Fiedler in his, and Mrs. Fiedler thought we both had died. And when they realized that we hadn't, Mr. Fiedler was understandably upset, especially with dinner being, and Kyle and I both wished we had died. So Kyle and I know each other very well. And Kyle came to me and told me he was interested in this new girl he started dating, Jess. We have what we like to call rash but genius advice that we give each other. And he was very nervous. He was very nervous, and I could tell that he really liked Jess.